Can't you just hear in your head, we the best music? Or is that just me? Oh dear, what am I like? Welcome back to the Financial Style on New Style Radio 98.7 FM. I'm Marisha here, of course, making sure your money makes sense, and I appreciate your company this morning as we talk about how to get those coins up. Now, still to come in the second hour of this morning, I want to talk to you a little bit about, tax, okay? Like, wealthy people understand at least how they can benefit from the tax system, or to ensure that they get the appropriate allowances, they get all of the relief that they're able to get. I want to share some of those allowances with you, just to pose the question, like, are you getting the absolute best deal that you can? And right now, because we know every mickle makes a muckle, we need these mickles and muckles to add up to help our cost of living, which we know is increasing. So we're talking about that in about, I'd say, about 45 minutes time. And you're also going to hear from a conversation that I had with a mortgage expert yesterday about what can happen to our mortgages and what that's going to look like with our payments as and when the Bank of England do choose to increase interest rates. We thought that was going to happen this week. It did not. Actually, I tell you that, I spoke to him a couple of days ago, because the conversation I had with him was actually just before the announcement was made. But either way, it applies. So we're going to hear what that gentleman has to say. And I'm also talking to you about cars. Okay, is this the time to car share with your partner or somebody else in the household? Because if you have a used vehicle, and I'm going to run through a list of used vehicles that have gone up in value by 50% in the last 6 months, you could be profiting and making some coinage on those cars. Okay, but right now we're going to look at our entrepreneur case study, as I like to call it, and this week it is Issa Rae. Now, this is the segment that I have to give credit due to the beautiful Chanel, who wanted to learn more about success from successful people, and so she came up with this over the summer, and just in her honor, I continue to honor it. All being well, one day when she's back with me, when she's back from uni, then she will continue to pick this up and talk to you about people that she's inspired by. But one of the people I wanted to talk to you about actually was Issa Rae. Now, if you don't know who Issa Rae is, I'll just fill you in a little bit. Okay, she's most famous for her HBO hit. The HBO is the TV network hit Insecure. Okay, and Insecure is a program that she wrote that was based on herself. In fact, in it she plays herself, and then everybody around her basically plays actors in her life, if you like. But she basically came up with this concept and has just blown up since then. Issa actually, though, got married personally during the lockdown period, had a beautiful ceremony in France, which was hilarious. She told everyone she was going for a photo shoot and basically got married, but I don't blame her, girl. That's how we have to do these things. Sometimes you have to keep the private life to an extent under wraps, and people don't need to know everything now. And she's doing really good stuff, and Insecure is now in its final season. It's in its 5th season. It's the final season. She's announced that, and she's now moving on to bigger and better things, and Issa is doing well for herself, honey. So I wanted to share a little bit about how she developed in this journey and how she is where she is now. She was born in 1985. Her name is actually Joissa Rae Diop, but she's known as Issa Rae. She actually started to get attention with her work on YouTube, where she was doing a web series called Awkward Black Girl. Yeah, we all know, but many of us can relate. Since 2011, she's continued to actually develop her YouTube channel, and she's done short films on there, she's done short web series, and she's done lots of content for people, black people in a nutshell. I remember once she was at an awards ceremony, I think it was the Oscars. She was attending the Oscars, one of the first times, and they said to her, "Who are you rooting for?" And let me tell you, I've been in this situation before. I've gone to award ceremonies and people look at you and go, "So who are you rooting for?" And you're like, "Child, I'm here for the free food, if I'm honest with you. No. Sometimes I don't even know who's nominated. This is terrible. But what I loved was her answer, which created a lot of controversy at the time, where she said,
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am. Betting on black tonight.
That's it, isn't it? All the black people, anybody who's black and nominated, that's who I'm rooting for. And yeah, it raised a few eyebrows at the time, but I love her for it. She's only the second black woman after Wanda Sykes in 2003 to create and star in her own comedy show based in the United States. As I say, Insecure was a HBO TV series that first came to life in 2016. She's been nominated for multiple awards because of that show, including a Golden Globe and an Emmy. Her memoir was titled The Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl, and it became a New York Times bestseller. In 2018, she was included in the annual Time 100 list of most influential people in the world. She's also starred in feature films with roles in dramas like The Hate You Give, Little. I don't know if you watched that comedy film. I actually quite enjoyed that film. I did watch that. Her with Marseille. What's her first name? Oh gosh, I'm rubbish with names. But yes, that young girl who's very, very, very talented. The romance called The Photograph, and The Lovebirds. She's also done the voice for Spider-Woman in the sequel to Spider-Man, which we won't actually get to see until next year. So she's doing her thing. Her heritage, interestingly, which I think is really interesting, her mother's from Louisiana, her father is from Senegal. Her parents met in France when they were both at school. She's got 4 siblings. Her father has a medical practice in Inglewood in California, and it's interesting because that's why she feels awkward, because I watched an interview with her recently and she talked about this awkwardness, and what she was really saying is that she was in a space where she didn't feel like she fitted in with anyone. You know, she initially went to a predominantly white school. She was basically didn't fit in there, and then her parents actually moved her into a black, I think it was college. When she went to college, she wanted to go to a black college. She went to a predominantly black college, and then found out that she didn't fit in there neither. So she found herself feeling awkward in lots of these different settings, and really turned that into somewhat of an art and something that actually has catapulted her to success. So I just wanted to share with you a few tips that Issa gave for how she's achieved the success that she has, and bearing in mind she's going to be she's about 30. She's born in 1985, so she's about 36 now. So girlfriend's doing good. Do you know what I mean? Got herself a man, got married, got herself a booming career, has managed to keep a separation between the two and stay very grounded, and at the same time is very strong in the impact she has. And what I mean by that is she influences so many people, but then at the same time she doesn't allow people to influence her. She's convicted, and I appreciate that about her. So she said, firstly, don't waste time. Girl, okay, and she's proven that, ever since she started to really rise, she's done so many different projects, and she said she even used COVID to just put all of her creative juices into projects that she probably wouldn't have been able to do without the lockdown. So she used that time productively. She said be patient, and I think that can be the thing, isn't it? It can be hard when you're slogging away at something for a while and you really don't know how it's going to turn out. And as she said, a lot of people don't even know that she came from YouTube, because that's not how they were introduced to her, but she slogged away until she got seen. Take action on your ideas. She gives an analogy of, she started doing fitness, she started running and stuff, not because she really enjoys fitness, I understand that one, but because she understood the benefit that it had on her. And she said that, her earphones broke. And actually she then had to listen to her own thoughts, and when she listened to her thoughts, she realized she had all of these ideas, and then she would find ways to take action on them. She talks about finding the balance, and I think she demonstrates that in how she lives her life. As I say, she's got a very private life, and everybody knows that Issa be private like that. Get the feedback right. Get the right feedback, put a different way. She talks about getting the right feedback, and I think feedback is really important. It's really interesting that when I was younger, because I've learned from this, when I was younger, I just used to do things gung-ho. I'd have an idea and I'd just run with it. Whereas now it's like I have an idea and I'm like, okay, let's get some feedback, and let's get some feedback from lots of different people, so that I know that feedback is right and I can see where there's consistency. grow others. I think this is so important. I feel like so many people's growth personally is stunted because they're not actually out here trying to grow anybody else or anything else, and they do not understand the value of how you grow yourself through that process and how you give back and add value. And then finally she said, have fun. And I'm here for that. Do you know what I mean? Life is already too challenging. Why not have a little bit of fun when we can? So Issa Rae, we appreciate you, girlfriend. You are far from insecure these days. It has got to be said. And I'm really excited for her new projects. But let's see what we can take from ladies like her in terms of how they can inspire us to move forward and follow our dreams and fulfill our ideas. When we come back, as I say, we're going to hear from a mortgage expert to find out how interest rate increases could impact you. And later on, tax allowances. Is there anything that you're missing out on that you could benefit from? Number one for